Who knew this commonality? 47-year-old Adnan Virk, 71-year-old Greg Cote bonding over George Jones.
I'm telling you what, he started loving her today.
This is the Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote.
Pardon it.
Here's your host, Greg Cote.
Dad, I am such a piece of shit. I swear to God. I have been a pessimistic person for this Dolphins team the entire offseason. And for some reason, Sunday morning, I woke up and I was like, you know what? We got a shot. And I just got excited. I saw Schrager from ESPN saying the Dolphins are a playoff team. I know you had them ranked 15th. And I was just like, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this team is different. Maybe the culture's been fixed. And then that game started, and about 20 minutes in, I'm like, we stink. Tua stinks. He overthrows Tyreek open in that first quarter,
wide open,
and then fumbles. Look, you can say that's unlucky. Hold on to the goddamn ball. It was just, and then I can't believe he held on to that one sack later on when he got totally blindsided. He actually held, that was the best thing that happened to the Dolphins that entire game was Tua not fumbling that one blindside sack. It was
the blindside sack, right? I said that to your mother. Yeah,
we stink. The front seven that everyone said was above average. That Colts offensive line better be the best offensive line in the league because that front seven stunk. The defensive backs that we said stink. Yeah. The offensive game plan looked exactly like last year. It didn't look anything new of this is what McDaniel's trying now. I'm gonna mute myself now, but you're speaking like 99.9% of Dolphin fans. Blow it up.
Yes. Okay.
Honestly, I wouldn't if Monday morning everyone's cleaning out. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Put yourself on mute for a minute so I can get a word in edgewise. I get the frustration. Believe me, because this was not just a loss. Okay. If they lost this game 21-17, it would have been bad enough. But this is a loss that was so bad that the score actually flattered them. 30-8 almost sounds like they were better than they were. This was an awful humiliation, a faith-quaking embarrassment. This was one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a Dolphins team, let alone in a season opener when you had the whole offseason, all of training camp, the preseason, to come out like this and take a monumental national shit. This is inexcusable.
And it's against Daniel Jones. If it's against Bo Nix, if it's against Drake May, if it's against Josh Allen, you're at least all right, those are good young, Josh Allen's obviously great, but those other guys are young, promising, you know what I mean? You at least feel okay, maybe it's Daniel Jones.
That was my favorite part of Greg's article. Jones, by the way, not very good.
Not very good until the Dolphins made him look like Peyton Manning, who was in the building honoring their late owner, the Colts' late owner.
Now, Tyler Warren, the tight end, seems like he's going to be legitimately good.
Right. But here's the thing. This was a duel between two teams that both went 8-9 last season. One of the teams was going to step up and flip the script and act like a team that could make the playoffs this year. And it was only one team. It was Indianapolis. And the Dolphins, the whole season just sags. It's barely out the gate. The starting gate, the bell has just rung. The horses are leaving the gate. Everything sags already.
You said this team was going to be the 14th best team in the league. I know you said 15, but you meant 14th, and I just guessed it, so you switched it to 15th. But
okay,
this you thought this team was going to be good. What the hell is wrong with you?
I think you're right.
It's one of those things I want to get mad at Tyreek Hill because 10 minutes into the game, he's sulking over on the sideline.
I know,
but it's I want to get mad at him, but he's right. We stink.
No,
I'd be mad. If I was him, I'd be mad too.
Right. Tyreek going to be Tyreek, and he's never going to change, by the way. I would be the voice of reason here by simply saying the bright side is it's one effing game.
We stink.
Okay, the bright side is
Ewers in.
It's one effing game.
Tua stinks.
Okay.
If you can't move out of the pocket, you need to be Drew Brees. Okay? If you're going to be the guy that can't move out of the pocket, stinks out of the pocket, when you're in the pocket, and you have Tyreek Hill in the first quarter, wide open, not wide open, but he was open. And he overthrew him. Like, you can't be doing that. Like, if you're going to be the guy that can't move, you got to be Drew Brees.
Agreed. But Tua is not inaccurate. Like,
yeah, he was.
Well, he was today. He completed more than 70. He led the NFL in accuracy last year. Period. A fact. But today he stunk. Sunday he stunk. The whole team stunk. Mike McDaniel stunk. Everybody stunk. And one of the depressing parts about many in this loss was that every Dolphins' worst fears came true. The cornerbacks were beaten like crazy. Storm Duck was having a nightmare before he went out injured.
Ankles sideways, poor guy.
The offensive line was not very good. Nothing went right.
You lose Daniels.
Bradley Chubb had a nice sack. That was
You lose Daniels, the offensive lineman, in the first quarter.
Right.
You lose Storm Duck, our only decent cornerback. Jalen Waddle, who seems to be made of glass, gets hurt the first time he's tackled. Like, it's just, we stink.
Okay.
Let's get to Adnan Virk. I need happiness in my life. You're about to hear us with Adnan Virk, and you're going to hear us start the show as if that's the start of the show. This is the start of the show because the Dolphins stink, so we had to talk about it first. Is there anything else that happened? The only thing that happened this football weekend, NFL-wise, was I have a rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year bet on the receiver from the Bucs, and he had 2 touchdowns. So that's I can win like $1,600 if that guy's the offensive rookie of the year, and he had 2 touchdowns today. That's the only good thing that happened today.
Okay, that's the only good thing that happened. Well, the Jets lost. That's a good thing if you're a Dolphin fan, and they lost.
I took the Panthers' Xavier Legette, the receiver, over 36 yards, like just a bet, like isolated bet on him. He got -1 yard.
Okay, Chris Cote judging everything and all his emotions by bets he's placed. I get it. I
actually bet on the Dolphins. I woke up on Sunday like, wow, you know what? The Dolphins are going to win today. I'm going to feel good about this team after. Like, I got suckered in right at the last second. I was unhopeful the whole offseason. And for some reason, I put on this stupid shirt and I got excited. And I was like, this is it. This is our year. And then we sucked against a shitty team.
Chris popped into the Zoom and I said, did you go to a Dolphins team meeting right after this or right before this?
he could be the next coach if McDaniels
He's looking like it.
I'm fully nude from the waist down.
Okay, you should be. You should be. And the Dolphins were exposed as fully nude as well in a terrible team.
What a tale of 2 days, because we have 2 intros to this show. This one and the one we recorded on Friday.
Yeah.
And the audience is about to hear the vast difference in the hope of Friday and the reality of Sunday.
Was I hopeful for football on Friday? I don't even remember.
The energy was good. Adnan was coming on. Greg started by saying, hey, we're going to talk about me because we're about to play this right now. We're going to play Football is Back, Jack, with actually behind. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see behind the scenes footage of Greg actually delivering this killer vocal.
All right, well, let's get to it because I hate football.
Well, let's let everybody feel better now after that downer of an intro.
You're right. I hate football. Football's back. Here it is.
All right. I almost think I need to do the whole verse.
Okay, try it. That's fine.
Okay, so I'll do the whole thing through Football is Back, Jack.
Yeah, just feel the beat down in your plums, Greg.
Okay. All right.
For so long, we're so damn excited that we put it in a song. Don't need no check downs, give me big hits and quarterbacks. Keep your fantasy team from falling off the track. Football is back, Jack. Whether on the ground or through the air, when the chips are down and you throw a prayer, when your team is primed and on the hunt, it's 4th and 10, you refuse to punt. When the shoulder pads and helmets crack, that's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, football is back, Jack. This high is wild and out of control, and we're gonna ride it every week till we reach the Super Bowl. Don't need no check downs, give me big hits and quarterbacks. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack.
Greg Cote! Yeah! Yes, sir!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode. And I'm going to start off by doing something a little bit different. I'm going to start off by talking about me. Listen, the song we did for the Levitard show, Football is Back, Jack, it is getting rave reviews everywhere I look, every voice I see, every breath I take.
The people just
people are
heard
bragging
it.
about it.
I mean, the people just heard it coming in here. I mean, it's a straight banger.
It is.
This was Greg's best vocal. People don't understand how hard it is to record over Zoom with anybody, but to get a 71-year-old man,
Not quite
happy
yet.
birthday,
Not
by the
quite.
way, Greg.
Not quite.
Yes, happy birthday, Dad.
Tomorrow,
thank you.
or by the time people hear this episode, tomorrow is your birthday, 71 years old.
All right.
The fact that I'm able to get a 71-year-old man to deliver that vocal over Zoom, great work by you, Greg. This was your best vocal. Folks, the choruses, basically every take that you ended up hearing, we did several takes over an hour, but the ones I ended up using were one take each. Each chorus was one take, the verses, one take. I ended up using that, barely had to touch it at all. Greg destroyed that song.
As we welcome in Adnan now. Adnan, have you heard Football is Back, Jack? My dad's latest original song.
I have not yet, fellas. I can't wait to hear it. Greg, do you want to give me a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead, Dad.
Football is back, Jack.
It's kind of like
about all
it's
I know without a lyric
it's
sheet.
our version of like Monday Night Football, Ready to Party song.
Sure. So, like, I'm forgetting her name. I was going to say Trisha Yearwood, but it's not her. Whatever the
Carrie
hell.
Underwood.
Carrie Underwood. Thank you.
There you go. Right.
That's when the song debuted on Levitard, I was watching the YouTube comments and people were saying, "Move over, Carrie Underwood. Greg Cote's here."
Wow. How about that?
There's no question about it. Listen, I'm thrilled to be on the show. And I got to mention this out of the gate. I know people make fun of Greg for not knowing enough about movies, but I got to tell you, the funniest thing I've heard on the Dan Levitard show this year is when there was a quote in which Dan said, a certain general manager said, "Hey, look in this draft, there are no Robert De Niros." And Dan kept laughing and mocking, saying, what kind of a reference is that to today's youth? And as Greg said, if Marv Levy had said that quote, there are no Laurence Oliviers in that draft. I fell over laughing so hard. It was a great line. I don't know if people got the joke, but it's great. For those who don't know, Laurence Olivier is the greatest British actor of all time, top 5 actor of all time.
There you go. Now, we have Adnan Virk on. He's a friend of the show. We'd have him on for any reason, but we have him on for a couple of reasons today. Number one, he has just written his first book, Cinephile, Interviews, Essays, and Tales from the Red Carpet. I am excited to talk about that book, and you are doing this appearance like a veteran author because you have the book right over your shoulder in the screenshot. So you already know what you're doing here.
Well, I've already taken a page out of your book, and truly, it was, again, your help in getting this done. So Scott Spinelli is a dear friend of mine, works at MLB Network. He does the ticker, phenomenal job. And we're talking about books and writing. And I said, I used to, when I was a broadcaster first starting out, I'm not a particularly good-looking guy. I'm short, a little lumpy, receding hairline. Voice is fine, decent. I think my sports knowledge is good, not great. And he goes, what strengths do you have? Can you go for jobs and stuff? And I'm like, well, I think I'm a pretty good writer. Like, I think, if you give me a script, I can write a pretty good script. So early on at ESPN, I remember some producers being like, oh, no, he's definitely a good writer. He's good on camera stuff and all this stuff. And then eventually every single thing I did, Greg, was zero writing. College football is called rap, meaning you're rapping around. It's just highlights, no writing. Baseball,
right.
This is all ad-libbing. This happened here, Aaron Judge home run. I'm like, okay. So there was zero writing. So I wrote the book because, quite frankly, I missed writing and always thought I was good at it. And as Stugatz has pointed out, he goes, this is taking a page of a Greg Cote's book. This is a back in my day. You just took a greatest hits cinephile, of which Chris was a critical element for 134 episodes, and go, it's just like a greatest hits compilation. That interview was good. Michael Shannon was good. Monica Bellucci was good. Robert De Niro was good. Just transcribe them, add a few original stories. Bam, we got a book. So
okay.
What's the rating on the Monica Bellucci chapter?
It's so funny. People ask me, they go, what was your biggest regret? And I go, listen, I don't want to slam Chris. I love Chris. He's so funny. He made the podcast better. The way that Chris made it better, by the way, for everyone who's listening, is like, oh, come on, he's just being nice. What happened was, and Jane Stanzik pointed this out, he goes, He goes, you and me had a good chemistry from the beginning. He goes, like, I like movies, but I'm not like hardcore. I'm like, yeah. He goes, then you went to Joe Engelbrecht, who's an awesome guy, 99 episodes. He goes, he's very nerdy. He goes, then you went to Chris, who's not as strong in movies, but he's highly entertaining. So the first 10, 12 months became like a monologue. It was just like me and Chris catching up. And then we go to movie stuff. And then I went to Harry, who was awesome, but also very Cinephile. Because you're like an NFL general manager. You're going like players coach and disciplinary, and players coach and disciplinary. But somebody asked me, Chris, they go, the biggest regret. I go, listen, it's not Chris's fault because we'd record these videos and normally they would send us the whole thing. They'd send us, I'm doing an interview on Tuesday. The guy said to me, hey, we're going to do it on Zoom. Just so you know, we only publish audio. So again, the error's on me. We should have told them, hey, the Monica Bellucci interview. She's one of the hottest women alive, Italian bombshell. We are going to need the video and the audio. Instead, I did the interview, panting, heart palpitating, etc. And they sent us only the audio. And as Chris said to me afterwards while listening to it, he goes, I got to be honest. I think it loses a lot without the visual. Like, I didn't see it. I can hear it in your voice, but I'm like, I was listening to an Italian woman with broken English. It's not the same thing.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We want to dive into this book. And a quick question, Adnan. Does the book read as fast as you talk?
No, one of the funniest things, Rick, someone said to me, he goes, what about, the amount of people have said to me, what about Audible? And I go, is this what we're doing now? Like you can't spend the $20 and buy my book. You have to ask if it's an audiobook. I have zero interest in audiobook, to be perfectly blunt. You want to know why? It's more work. Do you think I want to go into a closet for 12 hours and read my own words? Because as you just pointed out, I'm going to go too fast. I'm going to go,
right.
Can you slow it down a lot? And I'm like, listen, I listen to podcasts at 1.5. I do that so people can't do that to me. The amount of people would say, I can't go 1.5 of this guy. He's way too fast.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to read unless they tell me we'll give you $10,000 for an audiobook. I'm hoping there is no audiobook and the book will read as fast as I talk. And that's more reason to buy it and read it. You can fly through it. I've had several friends go, I went on the beach. I finished it in 4 days. I'm like, there you go. That's the kind of words that we need. I got to give you more props. We're getting more movies. I have to mention this. So why Mango? So back to Spinelli. He is a self-published author. So Scott says to me, he goes, listen, I'm nobody. I'm a guy that went to Syracuse. I do the ticker, and I sold 1,000 books of a fiction book based in part on my college experiences. You can do this by yourself. I said, okay, we'll see. I'm going to publish a really important. No, you don't have to. Self-publish, not a big deal. I went to his birthday party. I'm talking to his dear friend, Lofi, who's a great guy. And as we're talking, he goes, oh, Scott told me about this book you're working on. I'm like, yeah, I know, potentially Cinephile, this and that. I got a fiction book I'm working on. And he says, what about Mango? I have no idea what he's talking about, but I really thought that he's a big fan of you, of the Dan Le Batard Army. So I go, okay, those guys will know. So I get home the next day, I text Dan Stanzik, I go, what's Mango? Because he knows I'm working on the book. He goes, oh yeah, publishing outfit in Miami. He goes, Hugo, great guy. He goes, we Stugatz's book. He goes, we ended up publishing someone else, but we did do some stuff with Mango. They're very good. He goes, matter of fact, Greg Cote is who you should talk to. Talk to Chris or talk to Greg. I go, let me just hit this guy up myself. I text Hugo 3:31 on a Sunday. 5 minutes later, I said, I don't know if you know who I am. Hopefully you do. I hear you're a Libertarian guy. He goes, no, you are. I particularly like your stuff on movies. I'm like, great. Here's my stuff. I texted you, Greg, a little background. I go,
yep.
Good. You go, reputable, hardworking, knows his stuff. Good. And I said, all right, Greg Cote stamp of approval. Mango. Love it.
I wonder if he would be excited if Yeti pitched a book to him.
Okay.
Probably not. Now, no one is interested in my categorical memory of listening to Adnan Virk longer than I've listened to the Le Batard show.
Thank you.
Look,
appreciate it.
I found you through SVP Rosillo.
Great.
Oldest memory, it's not the first time I heard you, but oldest memory is you and Max Bredos with Bredos singing opera in the middle of SVP and Rosillo.
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that, Yeti. Max, people ask you your favorite people you've worked with. You never want to single out people individually, but honestly, on SportsCenter, it was Max Bredos. He's hysterical. He's so funny. Quick, fast friends. One of the first shows I did together was with him at ESPN, and he opened the show by saying something like alongside Toronto Argonauts season ticket holder Adnan Virk, because he knows it. I made me burst out laughing right out of the gate. He was just so silly. To Greg's point, after the first show, we're kind of walking outside, and again, we're both relatively new at ESPN. He started in January 2010. I started in May. And he goes, you're pretty good. He goes, delivery's a little quick. He said, but it's pretty good. Because I like your energy. Because you definitely, you got something. I'm like, okay, I didn't actually be an asshole. Last time I checked, we're both in the same pot here. Okay, like it's not like you're the boss. John Skipper calling shots. But Max was still funny. And on that show, Yeti, it's so interesting. I did radio for one reason only. What's the reason we all did this for? Well, not the women necessarily. The money. Because I heard a few guys talking, Jonathan, Coach, and Dario Noka. Hey, ESPN Radio pays. How much do they pay? I mean, the ESPN TV thing is good. $100 an hour. What? Really? I've never done radio in my life. I could do it. Really? I'm great at radio. So I went in there and I listened to Gottlieb and Rosillo and Colin and it wasn't Le Batard yet. It was Colin, those guys. For like a good month, I'm like, I'm going to listen to ESPN radio all the time. In Toronto, I only did TV, never did radio. I go in there for the audition, and I'm like, I think I kind of get this. These guys go on these topics. They make a lot of analogies. They talk in circles. It's kind of the thing. Did 12 and a half minutes. And after Scott Messer, the boss goes, well, have you done radio? I'm like, oh, a ton of it. In Toronto, I did a bunch. Oh, my God. He's like, yeah. I see Gottlieb back from the half. He goes, dude, I heard you crushed it. I'm like, yeah, quick learner. And so they basically put me with Russillo. Yeti, the first show I'm working with him, Louise Cornetta is also working in the radio department. She's very nice. I worked with Gottlieb for a bunch, by the way. Dan Stanzik, that's how we became friends. And those guys were all great. Adam Klug. Louise warns me, before you work with Russillo, like, I go, what? Because he can be a little crotchety, a little tough, whatever, but like, he's a good guy. And I hear this from more than a single person. So I walked in that room, as friendly and as goofy as him with you guys, with him, I walked in like stone face. I'm like, I'm going to someone's funeral. Like, this guy's all business. He wants to kick my ass. I'm like, no problem. So I walked in. I was so thrown off. He was sitting and he has that, angry look in his face all the time. RBF for Ben. He stood up and he smiled. And Greg, it was like a serial killer smile. Like, it just didn't fill his face. He was wearing a dress shirt. He goes, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. How you doing? And I just was stern right back. I'm not here to smile. Like, no, you're serious. I'm serious. I'm not some goofy guy here on the Doug Gottlieb show. We do the show, and Russillo's one of these guys. Like, he's all business, but he's funny. Like, he's sarcastic, but he's got he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder. It's a boulder. As Van Pelt once said, if you describe his clothing, it would be called Business Furious. But we became really good friends. He's a great guy. He taught me a ton about radio, and filling in on that show is what led me to appearing on Dan Le Batard's show. Because, of course, Stu Gatz heard me. He liked me. Stu Gatz says, we got to have him on. Chris, Billy, all these guys were awesome. So I have fond memories of all that.
I've got two more questions for you. Answer in whatever order you want. I'm going to throw them both out. When was the last time someone asked you about Molly? And was it you on the radio with Rosenberg when they asked Kirkchen who the best MC was?
So I'm so glad you brought it up, Yeti. I was with Kirkchen a couple weeks ago on his podcast, and I go, I've got to tell you. No, I was on with Russillo, but I told the Tim story because I was on Tim's podcast weeks ago. Listen to Tim's podcast. It's great. Him and his son, Jeff. I said to Russillo, I go, my favorite memories they were doing, who's the greatest MC of all time? Because Peter Rosenberg hosts like a 4-hour hip-hop radio show in New York. I think it's the number one hip-hop radio station in America. And Peter's a great guy, really funny. He did a little stuff with WWE as well, where I got to know him a little bit. But we had worked together at ESPN Radio. They're asking people randomly. I was at home watching as a listener, viewer.
Okay.
And they're asking each person, what's the greatest MC of all time? So they have on whomever, right? They had on Mike Ryan. He'll start talking about whomever, right?
Fife Dog was a friend of the show.
Correct, right. So, like, again, Peter's really locked in with all these guys, right? It's like asking Greg about the Miami Dolphins. Like, he knows this through and through. So they asked Kirkchen, hey, Tim, before I let you go, who's the greatest MC of all time? Tim goes, MC at Master of Ceremonies? And before they correct him, they go, yeah. He goes, I got to tell you, I went to a banquet once in Milwaukee, and Bob Uecker was he is the greatest MC I've ever seen in my life because he did it all out 35 minutes, and they're just sitting there. Russillo goes, yep, that's the first vote we got for him. We're
okay.
Killed me.
Bob Uecker. Yeah.
But I remember you were out in public at a ball game or something, and someone just yelled out, where's Molly?
I think it's Maggie. Is that who you're talking?
Maggie. That's our old girlfriend from McDonald's.
Yeah. Well,
I told Chris, I told you it's a deep cut.
No, that's a very deep cut. Yeah, Van Pelt one time randomly was like, first girl you ever kissed. I go, Maggie at McDonald's. I was 15. He's like, what? Jesus, what happened? McDonald's. I'm like, 2.5 years. I was employee of the month 3 months in. Thank you for that. Broke my heart.
Now we want to sprinkle in, Dad. I want to let the audience know. Adnan's aware of this. We're going to talk his book and all this stuff, but we also want to, of course, with a movie expert. Adnan, I worked with you on your podcast for a while.
Yeah.
You think my movie knowledge is bad?
I never said that. It's just very silly.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, my dad's woof. So we're gonna do a show staple. Greg doesn't know movies. I kind of like the idea of just kind of sprinkling it in throughout here, Dad. So go ahead, Dad. But I do right after that want to get to our first couple Greg doesn't know movie questions.
Yeah, and we have to talk a lot more about this book because I'm excited about it. And then Christopher's always making fun of me for talking so slow. Like I encourage people to listen to my podcast at 1.5 because when you listen to me at 1.5 as I do, I sound younger. I sound more vibrant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like if we listen to you at 1.5,
I'm at 2x with Adnan.
I like it, Yeti. Boy, high on life.
At some point on this podcast, I want us to play 5 seconds of Adnan at 2.0. Just to see what it's like.
Many people have said, like, how much cocaine does this guy do? How much coffee do you drink? What beans are you using? I go, nothing. Like, people ask my kids all the time, how much coffee do you drink? He goes, he doesn't drink coffee. They go, what? He goes, 0. He goes, he likes Pepsi occasionally. Like, I'll have a Pepsi with pizza like once a week. He's like, but he does not. They go, come on, how could this guy be a human Red Bull? But I'm just high on life, always excited after it. Jerry Madelon, who was a talent management coach at ESPN, he calls me in one time. This is a few years in. By the way, thank God MLB Network doesn't do this. If they don't like you, they just don't renew your contract. If they like you, though somebody asked me once, do you get feedback? I go, no. My feedback is, do you renew my contract? They don't tell me, good job today. Nice nugget on, what a wonderful storytelling you're doing in the Milwaukee Brewers. Like, no, if you did a good job, you go home. That's it. You don't need validation. But at ESPN, every year we have an annual review. Jerry calls me in, and he's a wonderful guy, which is why I'm telling this story, and I continue to tell stories to this day. We're going through each thing, and they'd have like quotes from each other. So imagine Chris is doing his review, and it's saying, here's what Billy thinks about Chris. Here's what Mike Ryan thinks. Here's what Roy thinks. You go, okay, I see these guys every day. Like, they could just tell me, but okay. So generally it's positive, but it's one of those, you get these surveys, can you give 2 positives and 1 thing to improve on? Which, although I never agree with those. No, because you're going to focus on the 1 negative as anybody would, and that's all they're going to do. So no, I'm not going to give anything negative. I'm going 3 positive. If I had something negative to say to the person, I would tell them in person. I wouldn't wait till a year-end review. Regardless, Jerry's going through it, goes, all right, Adnan, good writer, collegial to all, works well with others, knowledgeable. And then, of course, he goes, here's the thing that comes up on more than one of these. I'm like, okay, he goes, you talk too fast. Okay. And Jerry goes, we're going to watch a tape together. I go, okay. Some of your stuff on sports.
Crunching the film.
Yeah. Because we're crunch. Like, okay. And by the way, Mike McQuaid would do this too, which was very helpful. Because someone says it to you and you go, I'll blow it at your ass. And once you actually see it, you go, okay, fair point. We watch it. And he goes, and it's like, we do the on camera, and he goes, so this part is good. And it was like an obit. I don't know who died, but he goes, this is good.
When you really slowed it down to like be a serious point.
He goes, now let's go to the highlight. He goes, flying through it. And he goes, I goes, it's not just the obit. Like, generally the on cameras are pretty good, because in the highlights you're flying. So pretend like it's always an obit. And I says, Jerry, we are talking sports. It's supposed to be fun and games, and you want me to pretend like someone died while I'm doing sports dinner? He's like, yeah. And then he grabbed a few Starbursts. This is the strangest thing he's ever done. He goes, if I told you by talking so fast, you're costing yourself money. If I said you could be like John Anderson, you could be John Butcher, but you're costing, would you listen to that? And he grabbed 3 Starbursts and threw it at me. It was the weirdest thing. I go, wow. I know this guy just threw candy at me. I'm like, okay. I want to eat the candy now, but okay. And afterwards, I talked to Chris Duffy, who's so funny. He goes, hey, Madelon threw candy at you? And I go, listen, I think it was coming from a good place, but yeah, I don't really know what to say. I was so shocked by the experience.
Oh my God, I love
so,
that.
Adnan, I want to officially welcome you to the Mango family. And I mean that sincerely, because I've done 3 books for Mango. I don't even include the Fins at 50, because that was totally just a compilation of stuff. And the Back of My Day book is a compilation of stuff. The Pride of a Lion is an actual book that I wrote that I'm very proud of. But at any rate, I want to congratulate you for your first book, in all seriousness. And as I look at it over your shoulder, because the first time I wrote a book, and they send you
you guys get over each other. I mean,
they send you the cardboard box, right, of 50 copies of the book. And the first time maybe you see it in a store, it's a thrill. Yeah. It's a thrill. And you should be very proud to have just come out with your first book. So congrats.
So kind of you, Greg. I'm going to return the favor then, because Chris is nauseated by it. I'll make it funny. But I completely agree with you. Like, it was been a bucket list for me to always be a writer. For someone to say one day you're an author, you laugh and you smile, but it's true. Like, it's such a cool broadcaster, podcaster, author. No matter what, you can't take the book away from me. As I've said to people, I said, with a podcast, it's a ton of fun, but it's ephemeral, right? It's gone. Tomorrow, like, all these episodes, by the way, of Cinephile are still available on the internet. I could go listen to my interview with J.K. Simmons, but tomorrow, I don't know, Elon Musk does something and it's gone. The book will stay forever. I don't care if it's 10 copies, 50 copies, no matter what. My kids could pick it up one day. When my dad called me and goes, I was so moved by the dedication, and, Mom loved the acknowledgement. Like, that's what you're doing it for. And that's really what matters. To Chris's point, while he's rolling his eyes, when I got the cardboard box, I said, this is the moment. And so I was busy with the kids. It's nice. I want to have this moment special, exactly what you just said, by myself. So once the kids are in bed, slice open the box, pick up the book. I'm like, yeah, all right. Check the back. Blurbs from Dan Levitar, Josh Duhamel, Bob Costas, really well written by Hugo. Open it up, check the acknowledgement to Mom, to Dad, to the filmmakers who inspired me. Acknowledgements, thanking everybody. Okay, it's well written. Okay, looks good. About the author picture. And I flipped through to see what pictures they used. I said 8 to 10 pictures. I go through all the pictures. Okay, that's what they used. And then this is the feeling I had. I go, That it? You spent 3 months of this thing and you're expecting people to pay $20. You kind of go, that's it. And it's crazy, right? You spend years of your life making a movie. You spend years of thinking about these stories, and then it takes about 5 minutes. You go, that it? Like, yeah.
That's funny. Now, I will, unfortunately, they did misspell your name on the book. They spelled it Verk, but that's not a big deal because you still know that you wrote it. I'm kidding. They spelled it correctly.
All right, wait, let's get into this game, Adnan. Let's go. First 2 questions.
Okay, but I got more to talk about the book as well.
I mean, you mentioned that. Yeah, we got it. Thank you.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to witness a marvel of cinematic ignorance. It's time for Greg Doesn't Know Movies.
You can pick now, and you can go rogue here. If you're inspired by my questions and you think of something, like you're the host here, but go ahead.
Okay, I appreciate you giving that, Chris. Who directed Killers of the Flower Moon, The Irishman, and Wolf of Wall Street?
All 3?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's the same person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chris knows he's my favorite director, so once he said you could pick any one of them, I'm going with an entire chapter in Cinephile, the book. I went through
gave it
all
away.
20
You just gave it away.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
okay, I'm trying to think of directors I know. I'm going to say M. Night Shyamalan.
No.
Who is it?
2 more guesses. Just go ahead. Guess what you want. Feature filmmaker of the 1970s. 26 of his films are reviewed. He just got Emmy nominated for studio.
Greg trying to guess this is Absolute Cinema.
None of these clues are helping me.
Another clue from Yeti with Absolute Cinema. He hates Marvel superhero movies. Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, Goodfellas.
Oh, okay.
he still doesn't.
I don't know.
Shutter Island. Shutter Island. I was going to throw it. Martin Scorsese.
Who is it?
Okay, Martin Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese. Oh my God, that
Greg,
should
we
have
have
been my
video of you
go-to.
doing Absolute Cinema.
Right. Some people say you look like him. I've seen people tweet that before. Greg, Cote, Marty, a little bit.
We'll
I'm
throw it in
telling
right
you what.
here.
Like,
The Greg Cote Show is Absolute Cinema. Watch it and listen to it Monday.
you're our Marty.
How could I not say that name? That's like the default name of a famous director.
Right. To me, if everyone asks a question, director, you go Spielberg or Scorsese. It's one or the other, and you and M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh my God.
By the way, my fear was when Chris sent this to me, what if I don't know one of them? So this is the one that I knew, but it took me half a second rather than immediate. Who starred in Nacho Libre? Like I knew it, but I'm like, I don't remember it that well. But
I don't know.
I would like if Chris did quote a line, I couldn't do it. But I know
Really?
I don't know Nacho Libre that well, but I know the actor.
What is it?
Oh, okay. He was in Shallow Hal. He's really funny.
Shallow Hal, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Right, Greg's wheelhouse, Shallow Hal.
I don't know.
He's in School of Rock. He's got a name that rhymes. Jack Black.
Oh, Jack Black. Okay.
See, this is
Right.
every time Adnan, he has no clue, and then we say it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I did."
Yeah, that guy.
Well, Martin
Oh,
Scorsese.
Jonathan. Oh, me and Jonathan go way back.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese. Of course, I knew he did all that after the fact.
All right,
If
one
somebody
more.
tells me, I nod my head.
One
Yeah, Marty.
back to the book. One more.
Okay, one more.
I'm going to go with who starred in Dumb and Dumber alongside Jim Carrey. Great movie.
Oh my!
He's been a serious actor as well. He was in The Newsroom.
Phenomenal
Yes.
guitar player.
I can picture the face.
Was
I
in
just
School of
can't
Rock.
come up with a name.
This is Greg Common.
Man,
He's going to ask for partial credit. in a minute.
he's got like a square jaw. He's like a handsome looking guy. I
Yeah.
swear I can picture his
All right.
face. I just
It's
don't know
either-
the name.
I'm
it's
going to say
either-
his first name. See if you get his last name.
Yeah, please.
Hold on. It's either Daniel Jeff or Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right, give me
okay.
partial credit. All right.
Okay, good. Okay.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Back
Yeah,
to
we're
your
going to see
show,
more
Dad.
later. That's good.
This is just wow. I mean, usually you get like one right. Like this is a great performance so far.
Hey, Greg,
Thank
with
you.
it being your birthday and to call back a segment from a couple episodes ago, who is older, you at 71 or Tom Selleck?
I want to say Tom Selleck is older than me.
Yeah, he's 80.
Okay,
He's
Wow.
thank you.
That looks great for 80. Blue
He
blood.
Yeah,
does.
he looks good for his age.
Yeah.
Martin
He looks
Short.
better than I do at 70.
80. What about
I'm not
Martin
71
Short?
yet,
Who's
as we
older,
record
Dad?
this.
You or Martin Short? Who's older?
Me?
No, Marty
Martin-
Short.
Yeah,
Really?
Martin Short's 75.
Wow.
Yeah, he looks great.
Wow.
Now, you do look better at 71 than Johnny Cash did when he died at 71. So you got,
He
got
died
that
at
going
71?
for you. He died at 71.
I thought he was like 91.
No,
Yeah.
he was 71 when he passed away. He looked like 91. So you're doing better there. You look better than a dead man.
Thank you.
And that's a great segue on country music because, again, I love Michael Shannon, one of my favorite actors. So I'll watch anything he's in, includes George and Tammy, which was a limited series on Showtime.
Yeah.
I said it. Chris goes, oh, man, my dad's a huge George. I go, really? He goes, loves George Strait. So I immediately text him, hey, George and Tammy. I go, buddy. And I can't remember.
George Jones.
George Jones.
Yeah.
Screw this up. But you started listing the songs that you loved of George Jones. Like, all right. Who knew this commonality? 47-year-old Adnan Virk, 71-year-old Greg Cote bonding over George Jones.
I'm telling you what. He started loving her today. I tell you what, I got to give you some of my credentials here, Adnan, because, I'm not good knowing movies and everything, but it doesn't mean I don't like watching stuff that interests me. And what I'm doing right now, my wife turned me onto this. I didn't want to watch it because I judge movies and series by their title. If I think it's a bad title, it turns me off. She says, I'm watching something that I really love called Landman. I'm like, Landman?
Bob Thornton.
The hell? What is that?
Cinephile guest, Billy Bob Thornton.
Thank you.
And Landman sounded like the world's dullest superhero. He's Landman. But I'm watching it. We're like three episodes in. She's rewatching it on my behalf. And Billy Bob Thornton.
Love him.
You know what? I watch him. I always make fun of actors. I always kid that acting's not tough. I could act.
Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton, I watch him in that series, and I'm like, wow, that's an actor. Like that is top tier. And I think you talked to him in your book. So talk a little bit about him and why actors are so great when they're great.
Great question. I'm so glad you mentioned him because he is enjoying a renaissance right now with Landman. He made this clear to me even at the time he was promoting Bad Santa 2, which was that the era of movies that I love, particularly, I love 70s movies, 67 to 77, of course, The Godfathers and Serpico and Dog Day Afternoon. But I was born in 78. I love the movies growing up in the 90s. And I was telling Billy Bob, I said, there's this great independent films, Fargo and Secrets and Lies and obviously Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs and also Sling Blade. And this is one of my favorite movies. So Billy Bob goes, and anytime anyone says this to you, Greg, you have to lean in, right? He goes, I've never said this publicly before. I go, oh my God, this is going to be great. And it's in the book. He basically says when they're making Sling Blade, Shooting Gallery was the production. He goes, we're making it for like $1 million. Like we had nothing, but we goes, they didn't have anything. Like I knew it was a shoestring budget, but like at any point they could call and just go, hey, check bounce, we're done, we're wrapping. And he goes, I got terrible. The one thing about Billy Bob, he's a wonderfully candid guy. So he's like, I've got terrible anxiety, I got stress, I got this, I'm smoking. He's like, I can't do this. And he goes, I'm so glad nobody told me that. I just kind of went through the movie and just did it. And he goes, but like, I didn't know any better. He goes, I was a musician. Because to be honest, I wanted to be a ball player. And I said, yeah, I go, you love the St. Louis Cardinals? He goes, love them. He goes, I said, what kind of pitcher were you? He goes, I was a junk baller, which is what a great term. Like that's someone of that era would say, like I was a junk baller. I'm like, yeah. Right. So he wanted to play for the Cardinals. He thought he'd be a musician. Of course, he has the great band, the Box Cutters. He said he goes to Hollywood. He's working as a waiter. And famous director says to him, he goes, it's interesting. You're going to have a challenge. He goes, why? He goes, you're not good looking enough to be a leading man, but like better looking than like a character actor.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Billy Bob Connell. He goes, you're not going to be like the star. He goes, but you're better than like the the third supporting role. And he goes, so my advice is you should write. If you're a good writer, you'll write a good role for yourself. And he did. He wrote a movie called One False Move. He co-wrote it. This is a great action movie. Siskel and Ebert put it on their thrillers list, one of the best of that year, and then eventually got him a Sling Blade. By the way, the director said that was Billy Wilder, one of the great directors of all time. You've heard of him. You wouldn't get it right in a trivia question, but he won a few Oscars. Sunset Boulevard, of course, one of his favorite movies. So with Sling Blade, when I go back and watch it, Greg, what's so good about it, what you're referring to in Landman is he doesn't look like he's acting, right? He's one of these authentic guys who just feels the material. And like Sling Blade, what an original character. He said he was just looking in the mirror. I could put the jutting lip in. I like fried chicken and tater. And like that character the way it was, he goes, it was crazy because wherever I went, once the movie hit, and he goes, again, it's made for $1 million. And now it's making $50-60 million. Miramax, I'm winning an Academy Award for Best Screenplay. Because people would see me on the street, go, hey, do Sling Blade, do Sling Blade. I'm like, okay, fried chicken and tater.
Oh, God.
Right, then he's dating Angelina Jolie, and he's got this crazy life. But I'm like, to me, he's as authentic as it gets. Like, he is a good dude, and one of the great compliments of my life. The interview ended, and he smiled, and he goes, I knew you knew a lot about movies, but I didn't know you knew that much. And I said, oh, my God, what a great, great thrill. He's an awesome.
Oh, wow.
I love him. He's awesome.
His interview with you on Cinephile has one of my favorite quotes about acting and what you bring to a character. And you said something along the lines of, it seems like you have a good bit of yourself in every character. And he's, well, that's what makes it real.
Yeah.
And that just really, that was 10 years ago, I think. But I think about it. Anytime I think Adnan Virk, Cinephile, I think of that quote.
Yeah, you're the best, man. This is warming my heart. I appreciate the fact because you're right. And he talked about, because I love Duvall, who was Billy Bob Thornton's hero, and they were in a great film together called The Apostle. And he said, Duvall one told him that, when it comes to subtlety, there's a big difference between being subtle and being boring. So you have to look like you're actually listening and reacting. But I think that he threads the needle so well. When it comes to like Southern literature, Southern folk, he's incredible.
Who's the biggest name that you interviewed in the book? Because I know you talked to Robert De Niro. He has to be up there. Like for me,
Ray Romano.
Yeah, Ray Romano. I'm saving for another. Chris, you're gonna love this. So I did what I did for the book was someone goes, "Are these your favorite interviews?" I go, "No, they're the biggest names." Quite frankly, if we did the interviews, Chris knows Sam Watson. I love. He's the author of a book on Chinatown. He's one of my favorite guests. We love Judd Apatow, who was so funny. And I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the biggest names, like the 13 names I put in here. I'm like, these are the biggest names. So it is De Niro, it's Margot Robbie, it's Kevin Hart, it's Mahershala Ali, it's Willem Dafoe, it's people that everyone would know. But I said, if we can do a Cinephile 2, I'm going to make it the comedy issue Cinephile. And I'm going to go Ray Romano, Judd Apatow, Sam Morril. Like I've got Hank Azaria. I'm like, I've got about like 7 or 8 comedians. I go, we can just do a comedy Cinephile, bang that out for $10. There's book number 2 from Mango. Everybody wins. But as far as De Niro's concerned, I find out at Williamsport Little League World Series, De Niro's coming. And again, the talent bookers were so invaluable at ESPN. Katie Miravallo is always looking out for me, Lisa Antonelli. And she goes, hey, De Niro's coming to promote Hands of Stone, boxing. I said, oh my God, I'm there. I don't care what it takes. So I leave my duties at Williamsport. I finished the show. Mark Rose sees me, one of the bosses, my wife, a couple of kids. What are you doing? I'm going back. Aren't you doing the show tomorrow? I am. What happened? De Niro's tomorrow. Do what you got to do. Drive 5 hours. And all I'm thinking about driving from Williamsport, Pennsylvania back to West Hartford, Connecticut is, how do you start? What's the questions you're doing? Greg, you know this. You got 2 or 3 questions. After that, you got to listen. We got to react. We got enough stuff in our head. Don't make the program. But the key is the opening. De Niro is famously taciturn, quiet. What's always the joke? He doesn't talk. He goes and talks to his Fallon, makes fun of him. He doesn't talk. How am I going to get this guy to talk? He's going to be talking to Stephen A. Smith tomorrow. Kevin Nagani in sports. I'm going to make mine different. What are we going to do? And the first thing I kept thinking was, nobody calls him Robert. It's always Bob. And I said, well, I can't call it Bob. I don't even know the guy. And Mr. De Niro is too formal. So I asked Kirchin and I asked my dad, and they said, ask him. Just say, can I call you Bob? And I go, okay. And that's the title of the chapter. It's, can I call you Bob? So we get home. I drop off the kids in the morning by the way, Sinner didn't show up. Absolute panic. Drop off the neighbors because my wife loves De Niro like I do. She said, no, we're all going together. I'm like, all right. Imagine my kids were in there too. Oh, Bob's like, I'm leaving now. When he came around the corner, it was like a surprise party. You just see his head go, get down, surprise, he's coming. Oh my God. But he walked in, and the way I described him is a word you could describe Greg Cote, avuncular. Resilient. He walks in, smile, long flowing hair. I'm like, hey, it's Bob. I'm like, just a charming, sweet man. Sit down. I noticed right away, eases up when I said no camera. He goes, oh, no camera? I go, no, just you and me talking. I'm like, all right, little less tension. Maybe 2 people with him. One of the guys, Stan, nice guy. So we get going. How are you going to get him out of the gate? Alongside the here, I got a Tribeca shirt on. I got a Travis Bickle doll. Like, we're going to let him know. I got a Mean Streets picture. Like, I've got trinkets here to show you, Bob. Tell you what, okay. He's kind of like smiling. So we start, great actor, Bob. I love him so much. Okay. Can I call you Bob? He goes, sure. I don't think I called him Bob, by the way, the rest of the interview. I just wanted to establish, can I call you Bob? He goes, sure. I'm like, all right, great. Okay. I only start with Tribeca because I got the shirt on. Tribeca Film Festival. He's done so much for New York. So I'm like, okay, good way to get into it. He was very, gracious towards Jane Rosenthal, his producing partner, who was helping New York after 9/11, et cetera. And I said, this is the question that's going to make the interview. I said, Bob, just a taciturn guy, shy, quiet, keep to yourself. And yet you made a movie about your family. It's a movie, a documentary made about your dad, Robert De Niro Sr., who's a famous painter. Why is somebody who's so naturally reclusive want to make a movie about their dad? And he gave a great answer. He was like, honestly, I just wanted my kids to know about him and grandkids to know about him. And I had to go back and, find the video of him and this and that. And I paid a guy for some film and this and that, but And he gives the answer. And all I'm thinking in my head is, at the very least, Molly Karam is not going to ask him about the documentary he did about his dad. Like, no matter what, he'll know I asked him something different and it was personal to him. Then we go into Taxi Driver, Rageable, et cetera. Didn't even get to Goodfellas. There's so many movies to get to. But here's what makes De Niro so iconic, so special, and the greatest cinephile guest ever. The interview ends. And the first one he says to me is, Pakistan? And I said, yeah, because in the Taxi Driver question, I said, I was born in 78, son of Pakistani immigrants. I was born in Toronto, grew up in Canada. The main character in Taxi Driver is Travis Bickle, who's from Oklahoma in New York City. The movie came out in 76. Why would I have this relation to this guy? And yet, this is a great film for lonely people who are fighting urban alienation, and I can relate to that character. De Niro remembers this 10 minutes later, just remembers, he goes, Pakistan? I go, yeah. He goes, I said, I've never been. My parents are from this. Yeah, he goes, you should look up this article. I just read the New York Times about Pakistan. He goes, it's very interesting. It's about the Hindu Kush, a lost tribe there. If you have trouble finding it, let us know. Let us know. You're going to give me your cell? We're going to just start texting buddies? And it was only at that point, by the way, Greg, that I felt like, oh my God, I'm talking to Robert De Niro. In the interview, you're fine because you're doing the interview. You're just listening, you're reacting. Only then I'm like heart palpitating. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm having just a genuine conversation. I said, we got to get a picture. And I did make him laugh. I got a good picture of making him laugh where I said, Don Rickles still is the funniest line about you. He said, what? He goes, he said, I had dinner with De Niro once. It was like eating alone. And De Niro gives like, kind of gives that funny fat lace. Yeah. By the way, later on, my wife and I are walking the campus. We're still floating, and he was walking with Stan. Stan's like, "Oh man, great interview." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much." Like he's literally my hero. And De Niro kind of gave us a wave later on. I'm like, "Oh my God, he's waving at us." He kissed my wife on the cheek. She's never going to kiss, but I'm going to watch my face again. I'm driving back to Williamsport. Drop my wife back off. 5-hour drive. Got to be with Kirchin 6 o'clock show. I'll be there by 3:30. Okay, pushing a little bit. Email comes over from RDN's office. I pull over. There can only be one RDN, Robert De Niro, and it goes, "Hi, just wanted to let you know how much Bob enjoyed chatting with you. And this is the article he wanted you to read." I click on it, The Lost Tribes of the Hindu Kush, a story of northern Pakistan. And I go, I've interviewed hundreds of athletes and actors, and all these people don't give a rip about you. They are polite, they promote their movie, and they say, have a nice day, and gone. Chris remembers Patricia Heaton, who was great. Name check out of the gate. Hi, Adnan, how are you? We do the interview. When it ended, thanks so much, Patricia. I'm talking milliseconds. She was gone. I'm like, oh my God, like that is just, at least Tim Roth give me 10 seconds. All right, buddy, nice talking to you. Have a nice day. All the best. The fact that Robert De Niro at some point on his chopper back to Tribeca said, hey, we got to get that guy's contact information and find this article and send that to him blows me away.
That's honestly, that's one of the, being someone who tries to perform and entertain, something I've had getting integrated or interloping into this show and the Levitard show is being able to, the greatest honor has been able to entertain someone who has entertained me. Yeah. Being able to put out a song, seeing them laugh, seeing Dan laugh, or what, you know, like, it's so cool. So like that's great, man. That
sounds, as much as it is kindness from him, it's just a good assistant.
It could be, but
that's an assistant that was standing behind him and being like, Bob, did you really?
He's only saying that because Chris was Dan's assistant when Chris first reached out to me.
Bob, did you really want that? Bob, I already have that article. Did you really want us to send that? I'll send it with a nice note. Yeah, do that. Yeah, do that.
No. Adnan's right. It was Robert De Niro directly who said, I gotta send this to Adnan. And by then he's talking to you like your friends. He's calling you Adnan. I gotta get this to Adnan. No, I think that's a sweet story. And right now we gotta take a break. Adnan. I hope you have a few minutes to stick around.
It's the sight, the sound, the smell of it, morning, night, or noon. It's the feeling you're always welcome, and when you leave, we'll see you soon. It's the place you always go to when you're with friends or you're all alone. It's the taste of Nelly's Diner that makes you feel at home.
Step back in time when you step into Nelly's Diner. It's the only place in town to taste Wild Bill Cody's Bison Burger, deep fried in Nana's 100-year-old lard. Or try a tall stack of our award-winning PFBI pancakes. Dig into the signature Bang-a-Thing salad. Or try an Uncle Dick footlong. Anything you want and anytime you want it, we got it. All served up with a free side of smiles. We are right where we've been for 60 years at 1440 Zagacki Street, downtown. Nelly's Diner. It's the taste of home you never had because your mom sucked at cooking.
It's the taste of Nelly's Diner that makes you feel at home.
Okay, before we get to some of our tent poles, as Yeti calls them, I don't know why he calls them tent poles. It's kind of a creepy phrase. But Adnan, who have you interviewed, either for the book, for the podcast, on a red carpet, a famous person who really was sort of an asshole, sort of acted like they didn't have time, they didn't want to be here? Anybody like that?
You know, I've even given this question to people while I'm doing this book tour. And I go, hey, why don't I give you the question you guys don't want to ask? Who's the biggest prick? So I'll tell you, on the red carpet at the Oscars, everyone just looks unbelievable. Like the question my cousin Nyla asked me, she goes, like, who's the best looking? And I go, they're all great looking. I said, like, I saw Brie Larson. I go, oh my God, like she's smoking hot because it's been 8 hours of being dolled up, whatever it is. I said, Taraji P. Henson looked unbelievable. I said, Jeff Daniels looked like the epitome of cool. He was the coolest guy ever. And we sat there talking about Fearless. which is David Sampson's favorite movie ever. And I go, Jeff Bridges, I love Fearless. He goes, oh, thank you a lot. That's one of my favorite movies too. I'm like, yeah, everyone else is talking Big Lebowski. But the guy who kind of stared me down like a prick was Samuel L. Jackson. And I never know what I said to him. I think I just went to him, hey man, bad motherfucker, Pulp Fiction. He's like, and I'm like, well, that did not go well. But here's the one interview on Cinephile, which we didn't run. And I'm a big fan of his. You know, I have no idea who he is. And I doubt Yeti or Chris will. So both of you guys Google right now the name Keith David. You'll know who he is when you see his face. He's in There's Something About Mary. He's in the first scene when Ben Stiller gets his Johnson cut. He is the father of the girl.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to reference what your Iranian new wave person or whoever it was.
Oscar for Hottie. He's awesome. Great. But so Keith David's with Marky Post, of course, from Night Court. That's the WOM, and Ben Stiller's whatever, trying to get the Keith David does a lot of voicing for Ken Burns documentaries. I just watched Requiem for a Dream again, one of my favorite movies. He's great in that movie with Jennifer Connelly. We had Keith David on, and Rick Pass, one of my friends who worked in Cinephile, said, I got to ask about Roadhouse. I don't know why, Greg. It was terrible. Now, this is pre-Zoom. It's just in the phone, but for some reason, he had no interest in answering anything. And in Requiem for a Dream, if maybe be a little bit salacious, the character he plays seduces Jennifer Connelly into basically having sex with other women so that he can give her drugs. Well, I asked him about that character because he's unbelievable. And the famous line is he pulls his Johnson out and goes, I know it's pretty to look at, but I didn't pull it out for air. Now, I don't know if I quoted it to him, but I think along the lines of like, hey, some pretty memorable lines in that movie. You know, what was the process like? It's kind of like, you know, I just read the lines. So I'm like, you can give me more than that, dude. Like, it's there quoting ass to ass and that, like the famous, like, come on, Aronofsky.
Maybe no references to you know, that or Basset Hound masturbation to you know, to introduce yourself to someone, Adnan.
In fairness, Yeti, it wasn't right out of the gate, but it was pretty early on in the interview. And by the end of it, here's the weirdest part: as the interview ended, he could have been nicer. Like it was the anti-Patricia Heaton. The interview was all.
Oh wow!
He's like, "Hey, it was great talking to you." I'm like, "Are you kidding?" I'm like, "Okay." And I looked at Stanzik. I go, "We're never going to run that." He's like, "No, it's the only interview I've never run on Cinephile."
Wow.
Oh wow! And by the way, parenthetically, Patricia Heaton always seems to me, based on watching her on the sitcom, there, the famous sitcom,
I love Raymond.
She always seems to me to be like one of the nicest people ever.
I couldn't agree more, but she was only for the 15 minutes. Like once it was over, it felt a little manufactured. But was a terrific interview. Went in the moment.
Okay,
all right, let's get back. Couple more. Greg doesn't know movies.
Absolutely. Who starred in The Revenant?
The Revenue.
Revenant.
Oh God! Here's a hint. If you've never heard of the movie, chances are you don't know who starred.
It was like 10 years ago. Won an Oscar. The actor won an Oscar. He wrestled a bear or fought a bear.
The Revenue starring Al Sheen.
Like
no clue.
Stars in the world. Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh,
Titanic.
Yeah, Titanic's the one.
Oh, the young kid who's no longer young. What's his name?
Here we go.
Handsome kid. Heartthrob.
They're all handsome.
They're all handsome. I can verify that. Chris,
I know. He's a handsome
Leonardo DiCaprio.
DiCaprio.
This is painful, Dad. Like,
okay. I'm sorry.
Like,
because earlier
Russell the Bear. Come on.
Yes, was that M. Night Shyamalan directed The Irishman. So, what was the big twist at the end of The Sixth Sense, which was directed by M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah. There's a big twist at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. I failed to see that movie.
What's the famous movie line?
What's the movie?
What's the famous movie line that like I see hang on. I see dead people.
Oh, okay, Greg.
Yes.
And see right there, he thinks he deserves full credit for that. When I said to him, I see.
Well, you said I see. You said the most unuseful words of the four. But I associate Shyamalan with a creepy kind of.
Who's the
movie,
lead actor,
right?
Dad? Who's the lead actor? Bald guy. Now, not doing well these days.
Die Hard.
Yul Brynner.
Die Hard.
By the way, I think if I put up a list of questions for Greg, he'd nail them. He'd be like Lawrence of Arabia, Yul Brynner, Ben-Hur, stuff like that. Like,
right.
Well, I know the era, Lawrence Olivier. I'm like, I could do this. We're gonna do another one next time. All the stuff.
Okay. Yes, please. I would
on the
love.
waterfront. You're gonna know this right away.
Too cool for the E.
Dad, who's starting on the waterfront?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Here we go. Same shit.
Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. Now you're talking my language.
Honestly, next time you come on, you got to come on with like 5 of those questions.
I love
it. Do old school. Greg doesn't know movies.
I even had to think to draw that name up, though. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But wow, this has been fun, Adnan. I hope your book is flying off the shelves.
I hope so too. When I need advice from you, when do you start to ask how it's doing? It debuted August 26th. I haven't asked anyone at Mango, how are we selling? What can I do? When do you do that?
Yeah, give them at least a few months, and
Wow.
and eventually ask about international sales, and ask about whether it's going to be in an audiobook. Because I just heard The Pride of a Lion for the first time a few weeks ago in audiobook.
Yeah, but Dad, Adnan just said he didn't want to do that.
No,
I know, but it wouldn't be him. It would be another voice.
Who else is doing it? Then I'll do it.
Yeah.
Chris, this is how stupid I am. I'm telling one of my friends, I go like, how am I going to get someone to voice Miles Teller? And he goes, the podcast exists. They go, what? They go, they're going to take the podcast, which is currently available online, and just take that Miles Teller interview and do it. I'm like, oh yeah. So I voice my stories. So to be quite frank, the book is 250 pages. I think 150 is interviews. I only would have to voice 100 pages. It's not that bad.
Right.
Yeah. No, you could, and that's a whole different audience and a whole different thrill to hear your words spoken in a book. You know, it's
Any mistake.
great.
You gotta use you're so deliberate on every single word.
Yeah. Got
A lot of work.
to slow down. Got to slow down. Don't speak too fast.
Like it's an obituary.
All right.
Luxuriate.
Dad,
International sales audiobook. Give it a few months. I'm writing this down. What else do you got? Did they did they give estimates to you? Hugo threw me a number and I go, I don't think I'm going to sell that many books.
No, they do. They give quarterly estimates. So right around Christmas time, you may want to hit them up and say, hey, how's the book doing?
Christmas time.
Yeah. And
Chris, I didn't say the number. I said to him, I go, how many books they were going to sell? And he goes, I think 5,000 in the first 6 months. And I said, I think by the end, the podcast had 5,000 listeners. That means every single person has to buy a book.
well, it's no secret they were pushing you to have it out in late August because they're looking at holiday sales and ramping up again. And, you know,
They did make that clear. They go, this is not one of those. It's not a movie. It's not big opening weekend. It's slow build. Keep telling everyone. Go on.
right.
all right, Dad.
6 months, you'll see it.
Let's fire through your bells and whistles here.
Okay. Dad jokes, the comeback edition.
He's always kind of thinking that his puns are in vogue. He cracks himself up like an egg with a yolk. And now Chris's morale is broke. Dad jokes.
Number 3. Why don't fish play basketball?
What's that?
Scales,
Something
gills. They
hair.
lack the gills. Go.
They're afraid of the net. Number 2. How do horses navigate at night?
No idea.
By satellite. Number 1.
How it always is. We just stare at him, Adnan.
Why don't
Occasionally he'll get me.
Number 1, why don't people eat clocks?
They don't have time.
They're out of time.
Too time consuming.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, you guys were good. You kind of guessed what was going.
Yeah, but you got to have the consuming in there because that implies eating.
All right,
3 facts, Jack.
Thank you.
There are 3 things that interest him, so sit right back for 3 facts, Jack.
Number 3, cetologists, scientists who study whales, pardon me, can tell the age of large whales by their earwax, which forms rings, much as trees do.
I just learned that this week on Stuff You Should Know.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 2, it takes about 540 peanuts to make 1 jar of peanut butter. Number 1, other than humans, the only other species that gives names to each other is bottlenose dolphins.
How could we possibly know that?
People love dolphins.
Okay.
Heard a
Bottlenose
dolphin-
Miami Dolphins.
Who heard a dolphin like talking to another dolphin and was like, yeah, they just called him a name. Like, there's no way to prove
I
that.
know. There's a bottlenose dolphin in the Atlantic right now going 45 miles an hour underwater named Ed. Okay? Okay, this is a new and improved worldwide randomness of life. These are where we take the top 10 Google search items in real time and see which one interests you the most. But because this hasn't gone over too well, I'm going to whittle it down to of the top 10, I'm going to give you what I think are the 3 most interesting.
Oh, you're avoiding another Summer I Turned Pretty fiasco is what it is.
I pretty much am.
Greg Cote's Worldwide Randomness of Life. Worldwide Randomness of Life.
It's worldwide.
It's random. It's Greg Cote. Worldwide Randomness of Life.
Let's see. Should I give all 10 then?
Go for it, Greg.
Okay. Billy Hamilton Cubs minor league deal. Interstellar Comet 3I Atlas. Star Wars Lego Death Star. GM EV production cut. Wireless emergency alerts. Apple iPhone 17 Pro Max. New York Times crossword answers. Arby's loaded Italian sandwich. San Francisco 49ers and Gavin Newsom.
Man, I thought Pablo might make that. I'll go the Arby's sandwich.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, I thought Pablo had a shot. The Arby's loaded Italian sandwich features ham, pepperoni, and salami, layered with Swiss cheese, banana peppers, red onions, tomatoes, and lettuce, all topped with a new savory garlic aioli and served on a toasted sub roll.
Wow.
Arby's loaded Italian is back.
Wow. We could totally sell this segment.
Worldwide Randomness of Life.
And that was the segment. All right. Wow. Sorry for wasting your time the last 10 minutes, Adnan.
Okay.
I hung in at the end. By the way, a couple more things. We had one more question for Chris that I had to ask. Name me 2 movies that Marty Short has been in. Martin Short was 75 years of age, currently dating Meryl Streep. Give me 2 movies he's been in.
I always do this when I know I can picture one that he's going to say. And it's the one from I think it's the early 90s or 80s where there's, I'm not going to say it. I just held up fingers. That's where, but go ahead.
Okay. Only Murders in the Building.
That's a show.
That doesn't count?
No, it's a show. Premiering on your birthday this week. Season 4 the next season starts on your birthday.
Okay, Saturday Night Live.
All right, here we go.
Okay, no, I can't name a movie he's in it.
Wow.
No, that's what Chris was saying. Three Amigos
was what I was saying.
Okay. That's not the one I was thinking of.
How about one of Tim Crooks' favorite movies? He plays Frank, a wedding planner. Steve Martin's in it.
What's the one where Steve Martin dresses up as a woman or something?
Are you thinking of Mrs. Doubtfire?
Miss Doubtfire?
Yes.
That's not Steve Martin.
Martin Short was in that.
Not.
Wasn't he?
That's Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay, my bad.
Martin Short is the genie in Aladdin.
I don't know that.
All right, we're never going.
Doubtfire I loved. I thought that was a great movie.
It's one of Colin Cowherd's favorite movies, too. It is really funny. I agree.
Thank you. There you go. All right, Adnan, thank you very much.
Thank you. By the way, my favorite back in my day, I have to tell you, it was the one about smoking. One of the funniest things that ripping people that vape. Back in the day, you go back, you suck it in your lungs.
Right.
I want the actual script of that. Chris, send that to me. Greg, send it to me.
Okay. We'll do it. As long as it's in your next book, the sequel to Cinephile. Cinephile 2.0.
Check out Cinephile.
Yes, please.
Seriously, Chris was invaluable. Greg, you were so helpful in this process. And Yeti, I can't thank you enough for being a fan. Billy Bob Thornton, I'm so impressed you remember that interview. You guys are awesome.
Thanks,
Adnan.
Dad, how does it feel to exit Adnan?
Fast talking Adnan did not disappoint.
We got to have him back on. I want to do different Greg Doesn't Know movies. Like I want to do one where he does old movies.
I would love that.
And you actually crush it.
You and Adnan did great. We were messaging later. The chemistry between you two was wonderful. And so yeah, I can't wait to have him back on. It's going to be great.
Good. Yeah, I hope so too. And finally, for those of you Dolphin fans who actually were optimistic Sunday, partly because Greg Cote said they were going to be a playoff team, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were so wrong. You're such a homer. Can you at least admit now?
It's one game. If they beat New England,
dude,
impressively,
I know New England
happy
lost.
days are here again.
You can't say
it's one game.
You can't say they're going to beat anyone impressively when you lose like that to the Colts.
That's fair.
They are, everyone's excited to play the Dolphins. And I know Dan was saying, all right, let's get out of here. I'm sorry.
All right, the sun will rise tomorrow. Thank you, Pod family. We'll see you next week.
Happy birthday, Greg.
Yes.
Again.
Ooh,
it's
don't
70,
mention my birthday.
71.
It's very low. Very
it's
low.
A nothing
on the
birthday
ring.
When you get above 70, though.
Actually, once you're above 70, they all are,
Okay, that's
pretty big deal.
Yeah, I'm just sorry to be on the Levitard show Wednesday because I hope nobody brings it up. I insist that nobody mention my birthday on Wednesday.
But isn't it your birthday Tuesday?
Whenever the 10th is.
Wow.
Oh, you're the 9th. Oh, you're the 10th. Okay.
Yeah.
Happy birthday Wednesday then, Greg. I had your.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Could have got away with it, Yeti. Like no one.